I'm currently like running off the high of seeing Dijon last night at the Greek Theater. I have so many thoughts, but I wanted to make this video anyway about like the reasons why the whole Dijon and Mkgee era has absolutely crushed me as a musician, as a creative, as a songwriter, everything. I purposely like didn't take any video last night at the show because I just wanted to like live in it. Not that I think that everyone who sees the show would revel in it as much as I did, but he closed with a song by Man, and it was like a religious experience for me. So every day I carry around an iPod with me and I put my music on it. I think of it as like an expensive business card, right? Do it in hopes of like running into somebody that I know. Which ironically, I did run into Dijon a couple weeks ago, randomly on like a Sunday night at a dive bar in, was it Pasadena? I don't know. And I did give him my iPod at that time. And that was like the most nerve-wracking experience I've had in my life. And at the show last night, as I was getting escorted by like security to exit down to the stairs on the side, here comes Mkgee bumping shoulders, literally like 2 people apart from me. And I was like, I have my iPod on me. This is my moment. The crowd kept getting tighter and like I was trying to work my way through, got to like the staircase banister thing, and then security started pulling whoever was like next to me this way and like ushering us down this other ramp. I was so mad at myself. I currently still am for not like seizing the opportunity to just say hi. Regardless, the reasons why like this whole era has crushed me is because it has completely made me take a step back and rethink my approach and understanding to making music. So I have a theory. In the 90s and the 2000s, in the dawn of like the whole digital era of like Pro Tools and things being made in a computer, there was a shift towards fidelity. Everyone wanted things to sound sonically better in the way that they're executed, in the way that they're engineered, just digital having such an impact on the way that music is recorded. I think that's why there's a lot of 90s and early 2000s music where we look back at it now and I'm like, it's all right. Like, I don't think it deserves to be in the top 40. It's a decent enough song and recorded in such a phenomenal way to where like sonically it sounds good in your ears. As a song itself, it's all right, you know? And a lot of people who are actually in production will recognize that like there's different phases every time we go through something. Like I think there was this fidelity era, then I think there was a lo-fi era. Maybe at the same time there was also like the loudness wars of how dense and how loud can you make your music. I was caught in the trap of the fidelity things. Instead of like, hey, let's write a better song. I don't know, I grew up in weird subcultures of 2000s emo, breakdowns and singing very high. And I was blind to rules that I had made for myself based on my own understanding of that world, as everyone else was trying to navigate it as well. Getting into this whole Dijon and Mkgee era has really made me take a step back from a creative perspective because it is quite different. Like a lot of people will think it, you know, it sounds like The Police or Prince, but just like the sheer approach of running a guitar straight into a Tascam thing that was never meant to be routed a certain way. Maybe I'm reading this wrong, but to me it sounds like they're making music from a space of, oh, we're just making sounds that we like to hear. Making something that would sound like a demo however many years before that, and then just committing to it because you like something. So it's really made me take a step back and look at all the rules that I've created around making music, and how do I just get rid of the rules entirely? The second thing was that gear only matters if it keeps you creating, exploring new worlds. I've really dipped a toe into trying to expand like what acoustic or like standalone instruments I have that aren't in my computer as I've done for the longest time. So it's not just chasing things that other people really like. It's not buying another guitar pedal that emulates the Tascam Porta Studio that Mkgee uses. It's finding gear that just inspires you in a different direction to explore in whatever direction that you feel compelled to. You know, sometimes your intuition can kind of just guide you of knowing what the right sound is for a certain point in time if you've given the hours to understand your gear, or I don't know, the sample packs that you'd buy or whatever. Trusting a song to find its sonic blueprint as you massage it out, and not having an expectation with how you get there and it sounding like your reference track. I think every producer in the world has probably spent their time flipping through snare samples to understand this concept. And I've heard it before, and I've even told myself it before, that like finding the right snare sample is not going to make your song better. If you have less things in your song, it might, yeah. Like if your recipe is only a few ingredients, it might. For example, if you're ever in a band practice and you're in a room full of people and all you have is one drum set, you're not flipping through snares to try to like build a song in a room with people. It's just you use what's at your disposal. And when you're making it, when you have no other options, you start actually chasing what you want to do with the song on its own without having the distractions of choice. Kind of like at the top of the funnel of all these takeaways, music is just sound. It's just the frequency spectrum in which you're hearing something, and that maybe like the one instrument alone or the combination of instruments. An album is just a displayed moment in time of like whatever combination of sounds you put together are. Mixing music, producing music, and mastering it is an art form of its own, but the only things that matter is the sounds that you make and how they make people feel. That concept alone has, what I think has transitioned me into a period of just trying to be a better songwriter. Yeah, sometimes like you can just make a bed of music that you really like, that makes you feel a certain way. And sometimes it's about like, well, what do you want to say in this song? How do you want to express that message? It's made me like take a step back and like not even pick up an instrument until I have a clear idea of like what I want to do when I pick it up, which is new for me. There's a wave of people being inspired by Dijon and Mkgee right now that sound a lot like them. It's also made a lot of people go into the new direction of, but just being a little bit more experimental with producing sounds in a way that just feel different. I think it's more evident with how many times people prefer a live version of something. Music is not the $20,000 WAV file that's uploaded to Spotify that had all these producers and songwriters on it. Music can be a 60-second voice note on an iPhone uploaded directly to TikTok that can move people. Mkgee and Dijon have kind of deconstructed that for me, and while my music doesn't really sound like them, I think that's more important, of just finding people that inspire you to make music in your own way so that you can continue your own exploration and can help you break down whatever imaginary walls or borders you were creating for yourself, or that just maybe like have been unconsciously been formed because of you were doing something in the way that you thought was the way to do something. We're in the Dijon Mkgee era. If you're seeing this, go see Dijon live on this tour. This is not an ad, by the way. This is just a trust me, bro. You'll get something from it, I think.